Hello all, welcome to my channel Journey with Sam. Today I'm going to talk about Python versus R software. You might think why this tutor has telling about this. So let's see the differences and use your software wherever it is necessary. Both are pretty good. There is no controversial statement I can give, but how efficiently you can use this softwares in your work area. So let's go now. And first topic is how do we import your package once you install your package in your environment. So import and you call the package name. So how do we write it in R then? So simple, again library call and call your package. So in this way you can do it. So let's go for other one. So once you import, how we can read your file. So if you're reading your Excel file, call your pandas package where it can help you to read your file, write your file, and you can do the data manipulations and many more you can use in pandas package. And read underscore Excel, which helps you to read your file and give the path and the file extension name. So then how we can read it in R then? So we can give a read Excel and we call the path and the data and the extension. So you can see how we can read it. And if for Excel you can call the library called read Excel. So if you don't have in your system, install it and then import the package and read the file. So let's go for another one. So Parquet file, how we can read it? So simple. So whenever you call your any file name, so here we have given Excel. Here as we are reading your Parquet file, we are giving the Parquet. As Parquet is little different type of file, so we call the engine called PyArrow. So for a pandas, along with pandas, you have to install the PyArrow in your system and no need to import. So but it will support to read your file in Python environment. And again, how we can do it in R then? So just simple, read the file of the Parquet extension and give the path and the file name. And then how we can create a data frame. So you're calling your pandas data package and you're calling the data frame function and we're giving a dictionary here. So if you're seeing in the curly brackets, those are the dictionary items. So id, in id we're giving a Charlotte, Alice, Robo. So means three columns and one id column, and even gender is a column, and in that the rows we have given as female, male and male. So in this way you can call the data frame function and you can create a data frame. So how we can do it in R? So we call the data.frame function and we are creating a vectors here. So this is a numeric vector, this is a character vector, this is also a character vector. So you call this vectors and call this function to create a data frame. So what's next then? So how we have we can filter a data frame. So we have an efficient query method. Use this method to filter your data based on your requirement. So here I am want to filter based on country on more than one term. So I'm using this isIn function or a parameter to call this Germany and Austria, and I also want to filter age factor which is less than 30. So make sure that you keep your filter in a quotations. So make sure you do it, and if you are keeping a single quotation and if you are keeping a double quotation, it always a good, but if you're keeping a double quotation or a single quotation, it will throw an error. So make sure that you write your query method in the right way with this kind of quotation marks. And how we can do it in R also. So we call the data frame and we are using the filter function and write your filter. So here no need to keep any kind of quotations, so directly call your column and give it. And one more thing, if you are calling a single value here, make sure that you keep a double equal to a sign. If you give a single, it will throw an error. So make sure that you assign a double equal to call a single value. So now how we can create a new column. So we are calling a numpy package here and the where function to check only the age column. So here we are reading only the age column here, and which is greater than or equal to 18. We're considering them as an adults. The rest will be your children. And you're assigning the age underscore group as your column name. And how we can create the same thing in R. So we call the mutate function here from the data frame, and we create a age underscore group, and you're using a case when statement here. And here we are what we are writing, we are checking if the age is missing anywhere. We don't want to include any missing values. We want to read only the non-missing values which is greater than 18 to consider as an adults. And if it is not, if this is a true statement, uh, it will give you this value. If not, the rest other statement will give you the children. So in this way you can create a number of columns in R. So how we can simply sort your data. So use your sort underscore values method, and based on how many row columns you would like to sort. So now I want to sort with score and the age. And suppose on the requirement you want to sort the score as an descending and age as a ascending. So in this case, we call the ascending option and we making as a false. So what is happening? So in the true value, it will sort with ascending. But if you keep as a false statement, it will consider this as descending order and it will sort with the descending. And how we can do it in the R. So we call the data frame and we call the arrange method, and you're sorting the score with the descending, and the age we are keeping as ascending. So in this way you can simply sort your data. And how to identify your duplicates in your data. So now you have a data frame called df. You want to check is there any duplicates are there. So if so, how to make sure that to check. So we have a duplicated method here. So what we do, we call the subset function, and you want to see on the patient ID, on visit and parameter. So if you have any other columns in your data, you can call those particular columns and see is there any duplicated. If you keep a keep is equal to false, it instead of giving a unique value, it will give all the list of duplicate values. So if you remove this one, and if you give, we give only single record of duplicate. So make sure that you keep is equal to false statement will tell you that yes, I need all the duplicates here. So now we will see how we can do it in R. So we group by with the patient ID and the visit and the parameter, and I'm calling the filter method or a function, and also calling n check n number of based on this group by function. If it is anything is greater than 1, it will list all the duplicates. So in this way you can do. So no, I don't want any duplicates and I want only the non-duplicates. So make sure that instead of greater than 1, you keep it as equal to 1, and here also the same thing. So make sure that you keep a till statement in front of df here inside the square bracket. So this will help you to list all the non-duplicate data. So next, if else statement, how simply you can write it. So we have a method called apply method, and we call the lambda function to iterate each row. And one more thing before I go, I'll talk about axis 1. So in Python we have index 0 which will list the rows. Axis is equal to 1 tells you that to iterate in each column wise. So now I call this as a row, and now what I'm doing it, so I'm making a visit. If it is a visit 1, making as a y, and also checking is there any missing rows here. So you can check using the not NA function from the pandas package. So rest value consider as a no, and in this way the flag variable can be created based on the different kind of conditional based kind of values you want to create. So how we do it in R? So we call the mutate function and we create a flag column here and we call the if else statement. Here also the same thing. So you can initially consider which visit is not missing, and if it's a miss visit having equal to of v1, only make them as a y. If this is not a true statement, then make it as a no. In this way you can make your code efficiently. You can use R and Python in your data science. So make sure that how we can learn, where you want to learn, where you can use the softwares. You can stay tuned for my videos. Thanks for watching.